doing comprehensible input for 6 months, 300 hours. It's a milestone. So I thought I would make a check-in video and see how it's going. This is what I always wanted to do with Japanese. I always wanted to do a check-in video. I always wanted to measure my progress. I didn't do it. I don't know why. I always thought it was too late to start, or it wouldn't be helpful. So I'm doing it this time. I'm learning from all my mistakes in Japanese, and I'm making new mistakes in Italian, okay? I'm trial and erroring my way through all these languages. Why would you listen to me? I got a master's in Applied Linguistics. I've used the languages that I learned. I've learned Japanese. I live in Japan. I lived here for 10 years. I speak it every day. I use it at work. Am I perfect at it? No, I'm not. But I'm doing it. That's the point. And so, should you listen to me? I don't know. Listen to me if you want. So today I want to talk about Italian, 300 hours of Italian. When I started doing comprehensible input for Italian, there's I didn't know if it would work, and so I tried to get some proof of like people who've done it, and I tried to find videos. There's so many videos of people who've done dreaming in Spanish, and then they're like, it's hour 1000 and I can speak Spanish. So I thought, oh man, like I wonder if that would work with Italian. So what I did is I look at their roadmap, the Dreaming Spanish roadmap, and I looked at the Refold. They do comprehensible stuff. I looked at their ideas and I synthesized them. And I thought, I'm a native English speaker. I've already studied Spanish for a bit. I lived in Spain. How different is Italian to Spanish? Like, is it different from English? I don't think so. I don't think it's that different. You know what I mean? Yes. So, how did I learn Japanese, right? I'm trying to do different. I learned Japanese in classes. I took evening classes after work. We banged through textbook after textbook. We looked at grammar points and vocabulary, and we repeated kanji, and we learnt about historical stuff, and we did tea ceremony and kimono and all that stuff, you know? And then after like a year, I moved to Tokyo, and I kept doing classes there. And I used it all the time. But there was like, it's always disjointed. It required so much mental effort to speak Japanese, except for like emergency stuff, going to the shops and doing those scripts that you do every day. You know, can I have this? No, I don't need a bag. That kind of stuff gets a bit automatic, but you're just making face noises, you know, it's not really speaking the language. Yes, then I did wanikani. I got lots of textbooks. I got the Yellow Bible, which it's good for grammar. I rated it, but I never felt I don't feel like I have ownership over the language. I don't feel like it's my Japanese. That said, I mean, I speak it at work, but it's not easily automatic. You know, like when you're driving a car and you can zone out and you just drive the car home, and then you're like, I'm at home. Japanese is not like that for me. It's never automatic. I always have to do it. I have to actively do it. And it's in the way, does that make sense? It's a hindrance to my life here. There's a gap, right? So I'm like, maybe the way I learned it is the problem. Maybe that's why I don't get this, you know? So I'm gonna try different with Italian. I'm gonna try a different thing. And all these people who promote comprehensible input, they say, maybe that is what will happen. A bit more automation, a bit more ownership, a bit more get it right down deep, okay? All that said, with Japanese, I can like eavesdrop on people and understand them. I can watch TV and understand it. It's the speaking, it's the production. That's the bit that is so much effort. And if someone has a heavy accent, it's pretty hard to understand. Yeah. Okay. So with Italian, I don't want to just understand all the grammar bits all separate. I don't want to understand all these interesting quirks like I do with Japanese about the history of the kanji and it's written on turtle shells and all this kind of stuff. Like all of that. I mean, it's all fun and stuff to learn, but it's not helping, right? I just want to drive the thing, right? I just want to get into the Italian car language metaphor and see how long it goes. I just want to get in and drive it, right? I don't need to know all this stuff. I want to be able to open my mouth and just out comes Italian, and I don't have to think. And it's me, it's Mikey coming out. It's not like when I speak Japanese. It's not Mikey coming out. It's someone from the textbook. So I'm looking at the good people at Refold and the good people at Dreaming in Spanish. They're very comprehensible input focused, and so I'm going to have a look at that, right? So let's have a look here. This is the Dreaming in Spanish roadmap, right? So I'm at 300 hours. Can you see up there? So that puts me in the orange bit of, it says I should be watching their Dreaming Spanish, right? Again, I'm doing Italian, I'm not doing Spanish, okay? I should be watching their intermediate content, right? So there's heaps of intermediate Italian content on YouTube, right? So I'm watching that stuff, okay? And when you come down to the bottom, it says, I should be able to, right? You can understand a patient native speaker. That makes sense, okay? I can understand the patient native speakers that make intermediate content on YouTube, like Davide from Podcast Italiano, Francesca from Italiano con Amore, and Lucrezia from, what's it called? Italiano. Anyway, I can understand them. I think, just between you and me, I think patient is code for someone's going to repeat themselves a lot to your stupid face. I think that's what they're saying when they say patient. Okay, so according to Dreaming Spanish, the next the next milestone should be 600 hours, right? So that's like a year. If I'm doing like 50 hours a month, so more than an hour a day, and so I guess after a year I'll be at their beginning of their advanced, what they consider advanced. I guess that sounds right. I'm kind of in halfway through, then I suppose you could say, right? Yeah, so all right, so that's right. Here I've got the descriptors down here. This is the descriptors from Dreaming Spanish. Level 3, you can understand people when they stay within certain topics. They still need to talk to you in a way that's appropriate for you, but you know many words and you don't rely exclusively on visual information. You still aren't completely used to the sounds or the language. You have good intuition for basic grammar, like sentence order. You can sometimes feel when learners make mistakes. It sounds wrong somehow. You can say quite a few words that are already useful when traveling in the country. Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds like me. When Google Translate makes a mistake, I look at it, I'm like, that's wrong. I don't know why. I don't know what's right, but I know that that's wrong. And then I bung it into something else, like reversal or something, and they're like, yeah, no, that's wrong. Yeah. So that's cool. It's kind of like fight intelligence, like boxers would say. Kind of know what's happening. They say I should listen a lot. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. They also say I should crosstalk. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just not talking. I'm doing the other approach where it's all input for like 1,000 hours. That's what I reckon I'll do. Okay. Yes, you're learning adjectives and abstract terms. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right. So what about Refold? Had a look at a video, I'll link it down the bottom for where he tries to explain Refold in 10 minutes. So I watched that a bunch of times and took a bunch of screenshots. Italian is a green language. Green because it's easy compared to English, allegedly, and over there in red, that'd be Japanese, right? So I'm somewhere here in phase 2. I suppose I'm getting towards the end of phase 2. Oh no, it's total, so 450. I guess I'm like halfway through phase 2. And the goal of phase 2 is to learn 5,000 words. I don't think I'm there, not the way I understand things. Be over 1,000. I've mastered like 1,500, maybe 1,800 sentences on Closemaster. So that's more than 1,000 words mastered. That means I've seen them like 5 times. So I'm easily over 1,000 words, but I'm not at 5,000 words, I wouldn't think. I should be immersing in audio and text. Text is still a challenge. The subtitles are good. Reading is a problem, but I'm working on it. I read this book called Italian, The Natural Method by what's his name? Arthur M. Jensen. It's good. I'm up to chapter 20, and now if I read 4 pages, I get a headache. So that's how much mental effort it takes to read. But I can't listen to podcasts for 2 hours a day. 4 pages burns me out. Says I should be learning new words and sentence mining. Yeah, doing that. Easy reading. I'm trying. TV shows, YouTube, crosstalk. I do all that except the crosstalk. The next one, it should be fast comprehension. Phase 3, immersing in audio, chorusing, transcription, continuing with past. I guess I could do that when I get ready for it, when I feel more like it, maybe. So phase 3, that would be somewhere around 750 hours. Makes sense. Start talking maybe more around 900. So, dreaming in Spanish, they seem to know what they're talking about. It tracks with where I'm at. Refold, their advice is good. So what has been good for me so far? Ollie Richards, readers, they're good. I'd like them if they're a bit longer. They're kind of like 3 chapters, so it's almost a short story, if that makes sense. It's kind of 3/4 of a short story. Like from a genre point of view, it's like, I want to know a little bit more about these characters. Like, that's just me being a jerk about it. They're good though. They help you learn a lot. The flip side of that is Sonia Onyebene. She writes these like easy mysteries, which are quite cool. They are longer, but they're easier to read. I feel like Sonia Onyebene, I feel like she gives herself a stricter guide of which grammar she's allowed to use. So it's like the grammar kind of gets repeated, so you see a lot of the same stuff in context. So that's awesome. And you really want to find what happens because it's a mystery. Like I said, there's The Natural Method by Mr. Jensen. Iron Academy has a good YouTube channel where they read it out. That dude reads it out and he's got good accent. It's clear, it's easy, but it's only 20. It's first 20 chapters. And then you got to pay. And I'm not going to pay. That's part of the challenge with this, is I'm not going to spend any money to learn Italian. See if I can do it full blast cheapo, right? What else is good? Podcast Italiano, it's great. Italiano Bello is awesome. I've hit the point now where I find the way she speaks in Italiano Bello, I find that she's slow. You know what I mean? At first I thought, oh wow, this is fast. And now I'm like, she's clearly slowing herself down. So that's progress. Lucrezia, I just started Italiano con Amore, and she's awesome. I like the way she talks. She sounds very, very happy to be there and talking to me, which is nice. It's a nice feeling. It's not as academic, you know. So yeah, reading is definitely harder. It's heaps more active. All right, so what's the point of all this, Mikey? Get to the point. Here's my breakdown, okay? So I've done between 44 and 54 hours every month, and that puts me at around 310 hours in over 6 months. Most of that has been podcasts and audiobooks, listening, like 130 hours of that. And then I've got about 55 hours of YouTube. And Closemaster, it's awesome. Just between you and me, I've got one on my phone and one on the computer. And so I do different ones like that. So that's a good way to, if you don't want to spend money, but they're awesome, so maybe you want to give them money. I mean, why not? You know, they're pretty good. I've got 30 hours of notes, which is, I did another video about it. It's a gold list. So I sentence mine it and then I write it out. So instead of like Anki, it's like analog flashcards, but it's more fun. It's more tactile. I remember it better. What else? And yeah, I do reading 28 hours. I've got to get those numbers up, man. I guess they're worth more. You know, those reading hours are worth more than listening hours. And I'm just making stuff up now. 10 hours Anki. I just restarted that. Yeah, Anki is it's good at what it is. I think I used Anki too much with Japanese, and now I have a metallic kind of taste around it, you know. Language transfer. Yeah, that guy is awesome. When I started, I didn't count any of that except here, the 10 hours. That dude, he's this guy, I think he's Greek. He does kind of like Michelle Thomas or Pimsler. It's audio and you just listen and he's talking to someone and teaching someone how to speak Italian, right? But he's transferring what they already know from English into the Italian and making connections, right? Yeah, like the how to change a noun. You just take an English noun and then how to change it into an Italian noun. So it uses all this information that you already have from the shared base of Latin between the two languages, and how to connect all these dots. And so you feel like you're learning a lot, right? Which is good. And then I did a few hours of music and actual grammar and stuff like that. And BDT, bidirectional translation, that I think is still a bit hard for me. I'll get back to that. So at this point, what can I do? I mean, I can watch dub TV. I can watch a TV show. I don't really struggle with that. I watched the Blue Zones documentary on Netflix. Watched the whole thing in Italian with subtitles. Followed it. I didn't need to go back. I totally understood it. Right now, I'm rewatching Chaos with Jeff Goldblum because it's awesome, and I'm watching it dubbed, and so now that's kind of right on my level. And except Prometheus, that dude, the way he talks just doesn't make sense to me. And now I can listen to intermediate stuff on YouTube and maybe rewatch it one time and I understand everything. But do I speak Italian? No, I don't speak. Do I follow everything that's happening? No, I don't follow everything that's happening. Am I seeing progress? Yes. But the most important one, is it more fun? Yeah, it's heaps more fun. Heaps more fun than banging through textbooks and putting your hand up and waiting for your time and lining up and getting on the bus and going to classes. And like, 'cause that's a punish, right? This is easy. Just watch stuff and it goes in and then it's right there when you need it. So I'm busy. I got a kid. I got a life. I got a job. You know, I got stuff to do. I don't have time to go and study Italian somewhere. So, am I going to keep doing it? Yeah, I'm going to do it. You should do it as well. Or don't. See you, bye.